this Facebook group, they decided to actually find who this person was.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at 10 true crime moments that caused enormous shockwaves throughout social media and the internet at large.
The process of journalism, the process of investigation happening before our eyes.
The shooting of Brian Thompson.
We have some breaking news. CNN has obtained new surveillance video from the fatal shooting of the United Healthcare CEO. And we do want to warn you that the video is, of course, disturbing.
On the morning of December 4th, 2024, United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was shot and murdered by a hooded figure on the streets of New York City. The brazen crime was like something out of a movie, and it understandably set the internet alight. The story was captivating enough on its own, but online communities immediately rallied behind the shooter, casting him as a folk hero striking back against unchecked corporate greed.
I certainly don't think that these people are glorifying murder or agree with murder. But I think what this is it really kind of speaks to how frustrated people are.
The subsequent manhunt only amplified the frenzy, with live tracking threads and fun speculative theories about his dramatic Day of the Jackal-esque escape. And when he was caught just a few days later, there was actually a palpable sense of disappointment. Sometimes the real world is even more exciting than fiction.
Seconds of the first contact, he had asked the suspect if he had been in New York City recently, and that really invoked a physical reaction from the suspect. He became visibly nervous, kind of shaking.
Casey Anthony.
It's not a smell that you'll forget. It's a very unique smell. There was not a question in our minds that there'd been a dead body in the car.
Back in 2008, the death of 2-year-old Kaylee Anthony captivated the nation, and her mother Casey quickly became the prime suspect. The case exploded online, with people following every little detail like devoted detectives, from frantic 911 calls to evidence like duct tape and internet searches. When the trial began in 2011, it dominated social media and live streams, even drawing comparisons to the O.J. Simpson trial.
The duct tape is probably the most important piece of evidence in the case. Would the single piece of tape been sufficient to have covered the nose and mouth and made breathing impossible? Yes.
The public was absolutely convinced of Casey's guilt, and outrage built daily as shocking testimony unfolded. But when the jury acquitted her of murder, the internet erupted with fury. Memes, hashtags, and angry posts flooded forums and Facebook pages, branding her the most hated mom in America. Even now, years later, the reputation remains.
More than 16 years after she was accused of murdering her own daughter.
This is my first of probably many recordings.
Casey Anthony is reintroducing herself to the public on TikTok.
A Zodiac cipher is finally solved.
Cipher is broken into 3 sections, each with 8 lines and 17 symbols.
No breaks between the symbols denoting different words, no numbers or clues to substitution keys.
And you got symbols from at least 7 different sources. Greek, Morse code, maybe semaphore, weather symbols, astrological signs.
During his infamous crime spree of the late 1960s, the Zodiac killer sent a number of ciphers to the press, begging people to partake in his twisted game. And that's just what they did. One of the ciphers was quickly cracked by a couple in California, but the others remained elusive for more than 50 years.
You were right, by the way. You didn't give his name.
Who cracked it?
A history teacher and his wife, Salinas.
Fast forward to 2020, when a small team of amateurs finally cracked the cipher known as Z340. As this was the first major break in the Zodiac case in about a half a century, it understandably set the internet on fire, reigniting interest in the case and giving hope that maybe one day he will be identified, or at least that his other ciphers will also be solved.
The chances of solving this after 50 years was next to zero, and so being able to play a role in this is fantastic.
The murder of Bianca Devins.
In the aftermath of Bianca's murder, her social media accounts became a spectacle. And to this day, people are still on her accounts leaving comments.
On July 14, 2019, 17-year-old Bianca Devins was murdered, and her case quickly exposed the flaws in social media. The Utica teen was brutally killed by a man named Brandon Clark, but the horror deepened when graphic photos of her body were posted to platforms like Instagram and Discord. These grotesque images spread rapidly, shared and reshared many times before they could be taken down.
Bianca's murder has sparked change to social media account user safety after pictures of her body were posted to various online accounts after her death.
The response of social media companies was heavily criticized. While some acted quickly, others were accused of being slow or indifferent in removing the content. For many, this tragedy highlighted how poorly platforms were equipped to handle violent imagery. And it sparked ongoing debate about content moderation, user safety, and the responsibility of tech companies in preventing such exploitation.
The Cicero man who admitted killing 17-year-old Bianca Devins and posting photos of her body on social media back in the summer of 2019 is now going to spend at least the next 25 years in prison.
The disappearance of Madeleine McCann.
The world hasn't stopped looking for Madeleine McCann. The sweet 3-year-old snatched from a Portuguese seaside resort in Praia de Luz in 2007.
The Daily Telegraph has called this the most heavily reported missing person case in modern history, and that's no hyperbole. The 3-year-old disappeared from her family's resort room on the night of May 3, 2007, while her parents dined at a nearby restaurant. Forums and early social networks exploded with speculation about what happened, but more importantly, relentless scrutiny of her parents, Kate and Jerry.
Please do not hurt her. Please don't scare her. Please tell us where to find her.
Instead of sympathy, the couple faced unprecedented waves of public outrage, with many accusing them of negligence for leaving their children unattended. Others went further, spinning elaborate theories that painted the parents as suspects. The viral spread of such claims created one of the first true trial-by-internet moments, the first of many.
Madeleine's parents, Kate and Jerry McCann, said she was initially snatched from her bed while they were having dinner at the resort where they were staying. At first, suspicion fell on the mom and dad, but they were later cleared.
The Golden State Killer is finally caught.
They have been searching for more than 4 decades, and tonight the major clue that unlocked this just days ago. They say this is their man, Joseph D'Angelo, now 72, arrested outside his home. They surprised him. He spent years as a California police officer. He'd been married.
After decades of frustrating silence, one of America's most infamous serial killers was finally caught in 2018. Joseph James D'Angelo, a former police officer, was identified through genetic genealogy when investigators uploaded DNA from his crime scenes to a public genealogy website, effectively linking him to distant relatives.
Detectives working the case for decades, but D'Angelo not a suspect until days ago when they got a break. They say cutting-edge DNA testing allowed them to make a match.
This groundbreaking technique finally unmasked the man behind at least 13 murders, dozens of sexual assaults, and over 120 burglaries throughout the 1970s and 1980s. The revelation spread like fire throughout the internet, with true crime enthusiasts left utterly flabbergasted that such an old cold case had finally been solved. For many, the arrest symbolized hope that even the most elusive criminals could no longer hide in the modern age of technology.
As I sat back, just almost feeling defeated about all these years, haven't found this guy, how am I going to get this case to progress? And that's when I learned about this technique using genealogy and DNA.
The Luka Magnotta videos.
That was a message he was sending. I'm throwing down a gauntlet. I dare you, I challenge you to try and find out who I am. I was like, oh, okay, this person wants to play a game of cat and mouse, and I'm up for that.
In the early 2010s, Canadian man Luka Magnotta horrified the internet by releasing graphic videos of animal cruelty. And then in May 2012, he uploaded the infamous One Lunatic, One Ice Pick, which showed him murdering university student Jun Lin. These disturbing clips disgusted even the most hardened LiveLeak user, sparking international outrage.
So we start doing what we normally do. We start analyzing this murder video, and we're trying to look for information that we could say that, yes, this is Luka.
Viewers were not only shocked by the brutality, but enraged by the apparent pleasure that Magnotta took in documenting his acts. They even galvanized a dedicated group of online sleuths who meticulously analyzed every frame of the sick videos for clues in hopes of identifying the perp. The case marked one of the earliest and, to date, one of the most famous examples of collective internet justice.
So the only contact that we had was with our detective at the Toronto Police Department. So we contacted him.
We've just come across this new video. It shows a dead body. We are pretty sure it's Luka in the video who's committed the crime. I need you to look at this.
The misidentification of the Boston Marathon bomber.
With social media, we can have the illusion of instantly finding a solution, instantly going after that perpetrator. And unfortunately, there's a pretty heavy cost to taking the law into our own hands.
Online sleuthing certainly sounds cool, but there's a reason it's not encouraged by law enforcement agencies. We need look no further than the Boston Marathon bombing. In the aftermath, social media platforms like Twitter and Reddit became hubs for real-time updates and sleuthing, with people scouring footage from the marathon to try and identify the suspects.
1 year since the marathon bombing, and tonight we're remembering the mysterious man on the roof, the guy in the blue robe, all individuals once considered possible suspects in the bombings.
Yeah, remember them? But if you remember, it wasn't actually law enforcement who was pointing the finger, rather average citizens playing detective on social media.
This led to a surge of misinformation, with users wrongly naming innocent people as the perpetrators. One notable case involved Sunil Tripathi, a missing college student who was incorrectly identified as the bomber and widely circulated as a suspect. The false accusations spread rapidly, amplified by passionate voices highlighting both the internet's power for collective action and its potential for serious harm.
The FBI issued these photos of the actual suspects. Now, here's what happened next. Within minutes, users on Reddit
all got together and decided that the best thing to do was to step back and let the professionals do their jobs.
They began comparing the FBI photo of one of the suspects to Sunil Tripathi. By 10 p.m., it had become a leading theory on Reddit that Tripathi was suspect number 2.
The Slenderman stabbing.
I want to do this.
Why did you do it then?
I was afraid of what would happen if I didn't.
The line between reality and internet fun was unsettlingly crossed on May 31st, 2014, when Anissa Weier and Morgan Geyser stabbed their classmate, Peyton Lautner, to appease the Slenderman. The monster originated on the Something Awful forums and quickly found immense fame through creepypastas, fan art, YouTube shows, and video games.
He constantly wears a suit. He doesn't have a face. His skin is white. And at his own will, he can exploit these tendrils from his back and strangle his victim.
Because Slenderman was a creation unique to the internet, the news that 2 girls had stabbed a classmate to appease him was especially disturbing. For many, it was hard to grapple with the idea that something they had created, proliferated, and even had fun with suddenly had real-world repercussions. The attack dominated social media and highlighted the potential danger of online myths on susceptible young users.
Anissa explained to me that to prove yourself worthy to Slender, you would have to kill somebody.
Zodiac said you have to kill Bella.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. The arrest and death of Jeffrey Epstein.
Some breaking news right now. Disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein has taken his own life while he was behind bars here in New York City.
The sex offender's 2019 arrest instantly captivated global attention, but it was his sudden death in a Manhattan jail cell that truly broke the internet. His passing sparked immediate skepticism due to alleged security lapses like sleeping guards and mysteriously malfunctioning cameras.
There's certainly about the way he died. It would be interesting to find out what happened there, because that was a weird situation and the cameras didn't happen to be working, etc., etc.
Memes proliferated every corner of the internet, with a particular slogan gaining significant traction. Theories flourished suggesting that he was silenced to protect the elites who were implicated in his crimes. The case continues to fascinate with the release of the Epstein files, reigniting debate, raising new questions, and even roping in the President of the United States. What a timeline. Epstein's case remains a cultural flashpoint, blending scandal, conspiracy, and mistrust, proof of how just one man's downfall reshaped online discourse.
Do you fear the president is not releasing these files in order to protect certain people?
I hope not.
Did you partake in these discussions, or were you more of an observer? Let us know in the comments below.
At first, people who saw the post were incredibly disturbed.